First contact. The galactic misunderstanding. The vast expanse of space had long been thought to be humanity's final frontier. Little did they know that it was about to become their battlefield. As the sleek, angular form of the TSS Horizon cut through the inky blackness of space, Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the swirling nebula before her. "Status report," she barked, her voice carrying the weight of command. Lieutenant Rodriguez, hunched over his console, responded without looking up. "All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the outer edge of the Cygnus Nebula." Chen nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of her lips. The Horizon was Earth's most advanced exploration vessel, tasked with pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. Today, they were about to make history. Or so they thought. As the Horizon penetrated the colorful gases of the nebula, alarms suddenly blared across the bridge. Rodriguez's fingers flew across his console. "Captain, multiple unknown contacts detected." Chen's smile vanished. "Battle stations. Raise shields." The crew scrambled to their positions as the nebula parted, revealing a sight that would forever change the course of human history. A fleet of massive biomechanical ships hung in space before them, their hulls pulsing with an eerie organic light. "My God," Chen whispered, her eyes wide with a mixture of awe and fear. Before anyone could react, a beam of energy lanced out from the lead alien vessel, enveloping the Horizon in a shimmering field. Chen felt a strange tingling sensation wash over her body. And then, darkness. When she awoke, Chen found herself in a cavernous chamber, surrounded by towering insectoid creatures. Their chitinous exoskeletons gleamed under the soft bioluminescent light, and their compound eyes regarded her with what she could only assume was curiosity. One of the aliens stepped forward, its mandibles clicking as it spoke. To Chen's surprise, she understood its words perfectly. "Human," it said, its voice a strange mix of clicks and whistles. "You have trespassed into Zarkonian space. Explain your presence." Chen straightened her back, drawing on years of diplomatic training. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel TSS Horizon. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration. We meant no offense by our presence." The alien's antennae twitched. "Peaceful. Your vessel bristles with weapons. Your species' violent nature is well known throughout the galaxy." Chen's brow furrowed. "I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. While it's true that we have defensive capabilities, our primary mission is scientific research." The alien let out a series of rapid clicks that Chen interpreted as laughter. "Do not attempt to deceive us, human. We have observed your kind for centuries. Your history is written in blood and conquest. You are a plague upon the stars. And we, the Zarkonian Empire, have been tasked with your containment." Chen's mind raced. Centuries of observation. Containment. None of this made sense. Humanity had only recently ventured beyond their solar system. "Please," she said, struggling to keep her voice calm. "There must be some mistake. We've only just begun to explore deep space. We've never encountered your people before." The alien's compound eyes seemed to narrow. "Your deception knows no bounds. We have witnessed your wars, your destruction of your own world, your insatiable hunger for resources. Did you think we would stand idly by as you spread your chaos across the galaxy?" As Chen opened her mouth to protest, another alien entered the chamber. It conferred briefly with the first in a series of rapid clicks and whistles that Chen couldn't follow. The first alien turned back to her, its posture somehow more menacing. "It seems your duplicity knows no bounds, human. Even now, your people launch an attack against our outpost in the system you call Alpha Centauri. Your lies will not save you." Chen's blood ran cold. There was no human presence in Alpha Centauri, at least not that she knew of. "That's impossible," she said. "We have no military installations beyond our solar system." The alien's mandibles clacked in what Chen assumed was irritation. "Enough. You will be detained while we decide the fate of your species. The galaxy will be cleansed of the human pestilence." As Chen was led away by towering armored guards, her mind whirled with questions. How could these aliens have such a fundamentally wrong understanding of humanity? And more importantly, who or what was attacking their outpost in Alpha Centauri? Little did Chen know, but the answers to these questions would not only determine her fate, but the fate of humanity itself. As she was marched down long, organic-looking corridors, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning of a conflict that would reshape the galaxy. In a holding cell that seemed to be grown rather than built, Chen paced restlessly. The translucent walls pulsed with a soft, bioluminescent glow, giving the impression that she was trapped inside a living organism. Her military training kicked in, and she began to analyze her situation, looking for any weakness, any opportunity. Meanwhile, light years away, in the Alpha Centauri system, a battle raged that would change the course of the war before it had even truly begun. Sleek black ships of unknown origin darted between the lumbering Zarkonian vessels, their weapons tearing through the aliens' biotech hulls with terrifying efficiency. On the bridge of the lead ship, a figure watched the battle unfold with cold, calculating eyes. This was not a human, nor was it a Zarkonian. This was something else entirely, something that had been waiting in the shadows of the galaxy for millennia, manipulating events to suit its own inscrutable purposes. As the battle in Alpha Centauri reached its climax, and as Chen plotted her escape from the alien flagship, neither humanity nor the Zarkonians realized that they were merely pawns in a game far larger and more dangerous than they could possibly imagine. The stage was set for a conflict that would test the limits of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. In the face of a vastly superior alien force, and manipulated by an unseen hand, humanity was about to show the galaxy why they were a force to be reckoned with. As the first shots of this interstellar war were fired, the true nature of humanity, their resilience, their adaptability, and their indomitable spirit, was about to be revealed. The Zarkonians, in their arrogance, had gravely underestimated their opponent. They were about to learn why humans were considered the most dangerous warriors in the universe. And so, as Chen formulated her plan and the mysterious third faction made its move, the galaxy held its breath, unaware that the fate of countless civilizations hung in the balance. The war for survival had begun, and humanity was fighting not just for their lives, but for their very right to exist among the stars. The human factor. Unpredictable tactics. Captain Sarah Chen had always prided herself on her ability to think outside the box, but her current situation demanded a level of creativity she had never before tapped into. The organic cell that held her pulsed with an eerie bioluminescence, its walls seemingly alive and reactive to her touch. As she paced the small space, her mind raced through possible escape scenarios. Meanwhile, on the bridge of the Zarkonian flagship, Supreme Commander Ziklar clicked his mandibles in frustration. The human prisoner was proving to be more trouble than anticipated. Not only had she managed to disable 2 of the nutrient dispensers in her cell, but she had also somehow reconfigured one to produce a substance that was slowly eating through the organic walls. Incomprehensible, Ziklar muttered. How can such a primitive species possess such adaptability? His second in command, Sub-Commander Vexna, approached cautiously. Supreme Commander, we've received disturbing reports from the Alpha Centauri outpost. The attacking force, it's not human. Ziklar's compound eyes widened. Explain. The technology is far beyond anything we've observed from Earth. The ships move in ways that defy our understanding of physics. They're toying with our fleet. As if to punctuate Vexna's words, a holographic display flickered to life, showing the carnage unfolding in the Alpha Centauri system. Zarkonian bioships, once thought invincible, were being torn apart by sleek, black vessels that seemed to phase in and out of reality. Ziklar's antennae twitched nervously. If not the humans, then who? And why attack now? Before Vexna could respond, alarms blared throughout the ship. Containment breach in the detention level. a frantic voice announced over the ship-wide communication system. In her cell, Chen grinned as the wall finally gave way under the corrosive substance she had engineered from the nutrient dispenser. She slipped through the opening, her Starfleet training kicking in as she moved silently through the organic corridors. As Chen navigated the alien ship, she couldn't help but marvel at its design. Everything seemed to be alive, from the pulsing walls to the neural interfaces the Zarkonians used to control their technology. It was both fascinating and terrifying. Her goal was clear: reach the ship's command center, access their communication systems, and contact Earth. The fate of humanity depended on warning them about the Zarkonian threat and the mysterious force attacking in Alpha Centauri. Back on Earth, the United Earth Defense Council was in chaos. Reports of the Horizon's disappearance had just reached them, along with fragmented distress calls from the edges of the solar system. Humanity was under attack, but by whom? Admiral Jenna Zhou stood before the council, her weathered face a mask of determination. "Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing an unprecedented threat. Our outer colonies are going dark, and we've lost contact with our most advanced exploration vessel. I propose we initiate Protocol Omega." The room erupted in shocked murmurs. Protocol Omega was a last resort plan, developed in secret for the possibility of a superior alien invasion. It involved activating a network of hidden military installations throughout the solar system and beyond. Installations whose existence was known only to a select few. Council President Adebayo leaned forward, his voice grave. "Admiral Zhou, activating Protocol Omega would reveal our true military capabilities to whoever is out there. Are you certain this is the right course of action?" Zhou nodded solemnly. "Mr. President, I believe we no longer have a choice. The enemy is at our doorstep, and they've already proven capable of neutralizing our most advanced technology. Protocol Omega may be our only hope." As the council debated, unaware of the true complexity of the situation unfolding in space, humanity's hidden strength was about to be unleashed. On Mars, deep beneath the surface of the Valles Marineris, General Marcus Cruz felt the ground shake as massive hangar doors began to open for the first time in decades. Row upon row of sleek, experimental spacecraft, the product of reverse-engineered alien technology from the Roswell incident, stood ready for battle. Cruz allowed himself a small smile. The Zarkonians thought they knew everything about humanity's capabilities. They were about to be proven very, very wrong. In the asteroid belt, Dr. Yuki Tanaka's eyes widened as her secret research station received the Protocol Omega activation code. Banks of supercomputers hummed to life, initializing an AI system that had been learning and evolving in secret for years. "Araya," Tanaka whispered, "it's time." The AI's response was calm and measured. "Understood, Dr. Tanaka." Initiating defense protocols, accessing Sol system defense grid. Across the solar system, hidden weapon platforms, stealth satellites, and automated defense systems came online. Humanity had been preparing for this day for longer than anyone realized. Back on the Zarkonian flagship, Chen had managed to fight her way to a communication terminal. As she worked to establish a secure link to Earth, she overheard frantic conversations among the alien crew. Something about an impossible attack in Alpha Centauri and reality-defying ships. Chen's brow furrowed. Could there be a third player in this cosmic game? And if so, what were their intentions? Just as she was about to break through the Zarkonian encryption, the ship rocked violently. Alarms blared, and Chen was thrown against the wall. Through a nearby viewport, she saw a sight that made her blood run cold. A massive, pitch-black vessel had appeared out of nowhere, dwarfing even the Zarkonian flagship. It seemed to absorb light itself, its surface rippling like liquid shadow. As Chen watched in horror, tendrils of darkness extended from the ship, latching onto the Zarkonian vessel and beginning to pull it apart. In that moment, Chen realized that the true threat wasn't the Zarkonians at all. They were merely the harbingers of something far more terrifying. As the ship began to break apart around her, Chen made a desperate dash for the escape pods. She had to warn Earth. The fate of not just humanity, but perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. The pod ejected into space just as the Zarkonian flagship imploded, crushed by the impossible gravitational forces exerted by the dark ship. As Chen's tiny vessel tumbled through the void, she caught a glimpse of more ships emerging from the shadows of space, an armada of world-enders. The true war was about to begin, and humanity would need every ounce of its legendary ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer determination to survive. The galaxy was about to learn why humans were considered the most dangerous warriors in the universe, not for their technology or their strength, but for their indomitable will to survive against all odds. As Chen's escape pod hurtled towards the nearest human outpost, she closed her eyes and whispered a silent prayer. "Whatever's out there," she thought, "you've got no idea what you're in for. Humanity isn't going down without a fight." Little did she know, but the greatest test of human resilience was yet to come. Turning the tide. Human ingenuity unleashed. Captain Sarah Chen's escape pod hurtled through the vast emptiness of space, a tiny speck of life amidst the cosmic battlefield. As she struggled to stabilize the pod's erratic trajectory, her mind raced with the implications of what she had witnessed. The Zarkonians, for all their advanced biotechnology, had been swatted aside like insects by the mysterious dark ships. If humanity was to have any chance of survival, they needed to be warned. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the activation of Protocol Omega had transformed the planet into a hive of frenzied activity. Hidden military bases sprung to life, experimental weapons were rushed into production, and the best minds of the planet were gathered to formulate a defense strategy against an enemy they barely understood. In a top-secret facility beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Ilara Vance stood before a holographic display of the solar system, her gray eyes intense with concentration. As the lead scientist of Project Prometheus, she had spent years preparing for this moment. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the room full of Earth's top military and scientific minds, "what we're facing is beyond anything we've ever encountered. But humanity has always thrived in the face of adversity. It's time to show the universe what we're truly capable of." With a wave of her hand, Dr. Vance brought up schematics for a series of groundbreaking technologies. Project Prometheus isn't just about defense. It's about redefining the very nature of warfare. We've developed quantum entanglement communication, allowing instantaneous coordination across vast distances. Our phase shift drives can move our ships through subspace, making them nearly impossible to track or intercept. Admiral Zhao leaned forward, her eyes widening at the implications. "Are you saying we can match the capabilities of those dark ships?" Dr. Vance smiled grimly. "Not yet, but we can even the odds. And with every engagement, every piece of data we gather, we'll adapt and improve. That's humanity's true strength, our ability to learn, to grow, to become more than we were." As the briefing continued, the first wave of humanity's new defense fleet launched from hidden bases across the solar system. Ships with sleek, angular designs that seemed to absorb radar and lidar, armed with weapons that could alter the very fabric of space-time. In the asteroid belt, ARIA, the hyper-advanced AI, coordinated the movements of thousands of automated defense platforms. Its quantum processors analyzed the tactics of the dark ships, constantly evolving new strategies to counter their seemingly impossible maneuvers. Back in deep space, Captain Chen's pod finally made contact with the UES Defiant, one of Earth's new stealth cruisers patrolling the outer reaches of the solar system. As she was brought aboard and debriefed, Chen couldn't help but marvel at the advanced technology surrounding her. It seemed humanity had been holding back some significant cards. On the bridge of the Defiant, Chen delivered her report to Captain Malik Edenuga, a tall Nigerian man with a commanding presence. "Captain," she concluded, "these dark ships, they're like nothing I've ever seen. They violated the laws of physics as we understand them." Edenuga nodded gravely. We've been tracking their movements. They've already destroyed 3 Zarkonian fleets and are moving towards the inner solar system. But we're not going down without a fight. He turned to his tactical officer. Lieutenant Kim, activate the phase shift drive. Let's show these invaders what humanity is capable of. The Defiant shimmered and seemed to fade from reality, slipping into subspace. As they reappeared near Jupiter, Chen gasped. A massive battle was unfolding around the gas giant. Dark ships swarmed around Jupiter's moons, methodically destroying Zarkonian outposts. But they weren't having it all their own way. Earth ships, utilizing their new technologies, darted in and out of subspace, landing precision strikes before disappearing again. Araya's voice came over the comm system, cool and collected. Attention all Earth vessels. Analysis of enemy tactics complete. Implementing countermeasures. Adapting weapon frequencies to match phase variants of enemy shields. Suddenly, humanity's weapons began to find their mark with startling accuracy. Dark ships, previously thought invulnerable, began to explode in brilliant flashes of antimatter annihilation. But the tide of battle was far from turned. For every dark ship destroyed, 2 more seemed to emerge from the shadows of space. The sheer number of enemy vessels was overwhelming. As the Defiant joined the fray, Captain Chen manned a tactical station, her expertise with the Zarkonian systems proving invaluable. Captain Adenuga, she called out, I'm detecting a pattern in their attack formations. They're not just destroying indiscriminately. They're searching for something. Adenuga's eyes narrowed. What could they be looking for? Before Chen could respond, a massive energy surge erupted from beneath the icy surface of Europa. A blinding beam of light shot out into space, spearing through several dark ships and causing them to implode. What the hell was that? Adenuga demanded. Dr. Vance's voice crackled over the comm. That, Captain, is our ace in the hole. Operation Lazarus, a weaponized version of the technology that first allowed us to achieve faster-than-light travel. We've had it hidden under Europa for decades, waiting for a moment like this. As the crew of the Defiant watched in awe, more beams lanced out from hidden installations across the solar system. The dark ships, for the first time, seemed to be on the back foot. But even as humanity celebrated this small victory, Chen couldn't shake a feeling of unease. The ease with which these mysterious invaders had dispatched the Zarkonians suggested that this was far from over. What was their true purpose? And what would be the cost of this war, not just for humanity, but for the galaxy as a whole? As the battle raged on, with Earth's forces holding their own against the cosmic invaders, the true test of humanity's resolve was yet to come. For in the depths of space, something ancient and terrible had awakened, drawn by the conflict that threatened to tear the galaxy apart. The war for survival had only just begun, and humanity would need every ounce of its legendary ingenuity, courage, and determination to face what was coming. The universe was about to learn why humans were the most dangerous warriors in existence, not just for their ability to fight, but for their capacity to unite in the face of overwhelming odds. As the Defiant plunged back into the heat of battle, Captain Chen steeled herself for what was to come. Whatever the cost, humanity would endure. They had to. The alternative was unthinkable. Alliance and betrayal, the complexity of human nature. As the battle for Jupiter and its moons raged on, the crew of the UES Defiant found themselves at the heart of a conflict that would determine the fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy. Captain Sarah Chen, still reeling from her experiences aboard the Zarkonian ship, worked tirelessly at her tactical station, her insights proving invaluable in predicting the movements of the mysterious dark ships. Captain Adenuga, Chen called out, her eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. I'm detecting an anomaly in the enemy formation. It looks like they're retreating. Captain Malik Adenuga frowned, his deep voice tinged with suspicion. Retreating. That doesn't fit with anything we've seen so far. What are they up to? Before anyone could respond, A blinding flash of light erupted from the space between Jupiter and its moon Io. When the glare subsided, a massive structure had appeared, a space station of impossible proportions, its surface a shifting tapestry of shadows and light. "My God," whispered Lieutenant Kim, her voice barely audible over the sudden silence that had fallen over the bridge. Admiral Zhou's voice crackled over the comm system. "All ships, hold your positions. Do not engage. I repeat, do not engage." As the Earth fleet hummed back, weapons primed but holding fire, a transmission burst across all frequencies. The message was simple, delivered in a voice that seemed to resonate within the minds of all who heard it. "Humans, Zarkonians, your conflict has awakened us. The architects have returned." Back on Earth, in the war room beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Ilara Vance and the assembled leaders of humanity listened in stunned silence as the message continued. "For eons, we have slumbered, waiting for a species worthy of inheriting our legacy. Your battle has proven your potential. But potential alone is not enough. You will be tested." As the voice faded, the massive space station began to pulse with energy. Beams of light shot out, enveloping ships from both the human and Zarkonian fleets. In an instant, they vanished, transported to unknown locations across the galaxy. On the bridge of the Defiant, Captain Edenuga turned to Chen, his face a mask of determination. "It seems the real war is just beginning, Captain. Are you with us?" Chen nodded, a grim smile on her face. "To the end, sir." In the following days, as reports trickled in from the transported ships, a picture began to emerge. The architects, an ancient race of unimaginable power, had set up a series of trials across the galaxy. Human and Zarkonian crews found themselves forced to work together to survive hostile environments, solve impossible puzzles, and face challenges that tested the very limits of their physical and mental capabilities. On a distant planet of crystalline deserts, Captain Chen found herself leading a mixed team of humans and Zarkonians. The initial distrust and animosity slowly gave way to a grudging respect as they faced the architects' trials together. Ziklar, the Zarkonian commander she had first encountered as a prisoner, now fought alongside her. As they huddled around a makeshift camp one night, he turned his compound eyes towards her. "I believe I owe you an apology, Captain Chen," he clicked, his mandibles moving in what she had come to recognize as a gesture of humility. "We gravely misjudged your species." Chen nodded, her expression softening. "We all made mistakes, Commander. But now we have a chance to set things right." As they worked together to overcome the architect's challenges, Chen couldn't help but marvel at how quickly old enmities were set aside in the face of a common threat. It was a testament to the adaptability of both species, a trait that would serve them well in the trials to come. But even as alliances formed on the front lines, back in the Sol system, not everyone was convinced that cooperation was the answer. A faction within Earth's military, led by the hawkish General Emerson, saw the architect's trials as an opportunity to eliminate both threats at once. In a secret facility on Mars, Emerson and his followers worked feverishly on Project Prometheus, pushing the boundaries of the technology they had reverse-engineered from the Zarkonians and the dark ships. Their goal, a weapon capable of destroying the architects themselves. As news of this betrayal reached the scattered human forces, it sent shockwaves through the ranks. Captain Edenuga, now coordinating Earth's forces from the Defiant, was faced with an impossible choice: follow orders from Earth and potentially doom both species, or defy his superiors and work towards a cooperative solution. In a tense video conference with Admiral Zhou and the Earth Defense Council, Edenuga made his stand. "With all due respect, sir, I cannot in good conscience follow these orders. The architect's trials have shown us that cooperation is not just possible, but necessary for our survival." Admiral Zhou's face was a mask of conflicting emotions. "I understand your position, Captain, but we cannot ignore the potential threat the Zarkonians still pose. And these architects, who are they to judge us worthy or unworthy?" As the debate raged, Dr. Vance stepped forward, her eyes blazing with intensity. "Admiral, members of the Council, I believe I have a solution. But it will require trust, not just between us and the Zarkonians, but with the architects as well." She laid out a daring plan. Use the quantum entanglement technology developed for communication to link the minds of human and Zarkonian volunteers. Create a hybrid consciousness capable of interfacing directly with the architect's technology. "It's risky," she admitted, "but it may be our only chance to truly understand what the architects want, and to prove that we're worthy of whatever legacy they're offering." As the council deliberated, out in the depths of space, the trials continued. Human and Zarkonian crews, unaware of the political machinations back home, fought side by side against impossible odds. With each challenge overcome, each puzzle solved, they drew closer to unraveling the mystery of the architects. But time was running out. General Emerson's weapon was nearing completion, and the architect's patience was not infinite. The fate of 2 species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. As Captain Chen led her mixed team through the final trial on the crystalline planet, she couldn't shake the feeling that everything they had faced so far was merely a prelude. The true test, the moment that would define the future of both their species, was yet to come. And as the twin suns set on the alien horizon, casting long shadows across the glittering landscape, Shen steeled herself for what lay ahead. Whatever the cost, she was determined to prove that humanity, and their newfound Zarkonian allies, were worthy of the architect's legacy. The final battle for the future of the galaxy was about to begin, and the universe would never be the same. The final stand, humanity's true potential revealed. The crystalline deserts of the alien world glittered under the light of 3 moons as Captain Sarah Chen and her unlikely team of humans and Zarkonians approached the final trial. Before them loomed a structure that defied description. A massive, shifting edifice that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. "By the sacred slime," Zickler chittered, his compound eyes reflecting the impossible geometry of the architect's construct. "How are we supposed to enter that?" Chen's lips quirked in a grim smile. "Together," she said simply, extending her hand to the Zarkonian commander. After a moment's hesitation, Zickler's appendage clasped hers, a symbol of the unlikely alliance they had forged. As they stepped towards the structure, the air around them shimmered, and they found themselves transported to a vast chamber that seemed to stretch into infinity. In the center stood a being of pure energy, its form constantly shifting and changing. "Welcome, children of Earth and Zarkon," the being's voice resonated in their minds. "You stand at the precipice of a new era. Your actions here will determine the fate of not just your species, but of all life in the galaxy." Meanwhile, back in the Sol system, tensions had reached a boiling point. General Emerson's weapon, a massive cannon capable of tearing holes in the fabric of space-time itself, was primed and ready. Despite the protests of Admiral Zhao and Dr. Vance, the more hawkish elements of Earth's leadership had given the green light for its use against the architect's space station. On the bridge of the Defiant, Captain Adenuga received the transmission with a heavy heart. "This is madness," he muttered, his hands clenching the arms of his command chair. Dr. Vance's voice crackled over the comm. "Captain, we're out of time. We need to implement the hybrid consciousness plan now, or all will be lost." Adenuga nodded grimly. "Do it, Doctor, and may whatever gods are out there have mercy on us all." In a laboratory deep within the Defiant, human and Zarkonian volunteers were connected to a web of glowing neural interfaces. As Dr. Vance initiated the sequence, their minds merged into a single hybrid consciousness, a bridge between species, and hopefully, between mortals and the godlike architects. Back in the infinite chamber, Chen and her team faced a series of mind-bending challenges that tested not just their intelligence and physical prowess, but their very conception of reality. As they worked together, overcoming seemingly impossible obstacles, Shen felt a strange sensation at the back of her mind, a presence that was both alien and familiar. The hybrid consciousness, she gasped, realizing what Dr. Vance and the others had done. We're all connected now. With this new, expanded awareness, Chen and her team began to understand the true nature of the Architect's test. It wasn't about proving their worth through strength or intelligence alone, but about demonstrating their capacity for growth, adaptation, and cooperation. As they neared the final challenge, alarms blared throughout the chamber. The energy beam before them flickered, its voice tinged with what could only be described as concern. "A great weapon has been unleashed in your home system," it announced, "one capable of unraveling the very fabric of space-time. If it is not stopped, the consequences will be catastrophic for all life in the galaxy." Chen's heart sank as she realized what had happened. General Emerson had launched his attack, unknowingly threatening not just the Architects, but the entire universe. In that moment, with the fate of everything hanging in the balance, Chen made a decision that would alter the course of history. Drawing on the power of the hybrid consciousness, she reached out with her mind, connecting not just with her team and the volunteers on the Defiant, but with every human and Zarkonian across the galaxy. In an instant, the barriers between species fell away. Every mind was united, every perspective shared. Humans experienced the hive-like unity of Zarkonian society, while Zarkonians felt the fierce individuality and creativity of humanity. And together, they touched the vast, ancient consciousness of the Architects. With this unprecedented union of minds, a solution presented itself. Using the Architects' technology, amplified by the combined mental energy of two species, they created a temporal bubble around Emerson's weapon, containing its destructive power. On Earth, General Emerson watched in disbelief as his super weapon imploded, its energy harmlessly dissipated across multiple dimensions. In the infinite chamber, the energy being coalesced into a more defined form, regarding Chen and her team with what could only be described as pride. "You have succeeded beyond our wildest expectations," it said, its voice filled with warmth. "In the face of extinction, you chose unity. In the grip of fear, you found courage. You have proven yourselves worthy not just of survival, but of joining us as shepherds of the galaxy." As the hybrid consciousness gently dissolved, leaving each mind intact but forever changed, Chen felt a profound sense of hope. The war was over, but a new journey was just beginning. In the years that followed, humans and Zarkonians worked side by side to rebuild and explore the galaxy. The technology of the Architects allowed them to solve problems that had once seemed insurmountable, from climate change to interstellar travel. But more than any technological advancement, it was the lesson of unity that proved to be humanity's greatest strength. They had faced annihilation and emerged stronger, not by dominating or destroying their adversaries, but by finding common ground and working together. As Captain Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Unity Station, a massive space habitat orbiting Earth, she marveled at how far they had come. Below her, the planet gleamed blue and green, while above, the stars beckoned with endless possibilities. A Zarkonian officer approached, offering a respectful click of his mandibles. "The Architect's envoy is ready to receive us, Captain," he said. Chen nodded, a smile playing on her lips. "Then let's not keep them waiting. We have a galaxy to explore and a legacy to build." As they walked together towards the conference room, human and Zarkonian side by side, Chen knew that whatever challenges the universe might throw at them, they would face them united. For they had learned the greatest lesson of all, that true strength lies not in conquering others, but in lifting each other up. And so, humanity stepped into a new era, no longer merely survivors, but guardians of a cosmic legacy. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, welcoming the dawn of a new age of exploration, cooperation, and boundless potential.